Warning! This episode of The Time Teller contains content that's kind of yucky and you should probably not watch this if you're eating. You've been warned.
Oh my god. Wear gloves on both hands if you're going to do it. And the one glove the person is wearing is shredded. Oh, I'm gonna throw up. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the f is that? Trypophobia is defined as the aversion or fear of small clusters of holes or bumps. If you have that, probably reconsider watching this video. What the f is that? Make sure to hit that like button if you want to see a bearded, balding weirdo talk about EDC items and wristwatches. It is 1:45 p.m. Let's get down to business. Now, if we're talking about trypophobia, we have to bring up the Gerald Genta Gentissima Oursin Fire Opal. That's a long fancy name for a watch that essentially looks like an adolescent's acne outbreak. Now, I know I'm being kind of crude and vulgar here, but it does have kind of a sea urchin-y vibe, which makes sense because Oursin means sea urchin in French, and the original design, I believe, was a darker watch. In fact, they have a black variant. I'll show you. But this new variant is the Fire Opal, and it looks much more pimply. Each of these lumps, they're like little orbs that are just begging to be popped. It's borderline disturbing, but also kind of mesmerizing at the same time. Now, many of you guys watching this channel are familiar with the name Gerald Genta because, well, he's probably one of the most prolific watchmakers ever. He's made watches from the pole router, which is probably one of his earliest claims to fame, all the way to things like the AP Royal Oak, even the Patek Nautilus, and the IWC Engineer. I know what you're thinking. Those watches I mentioned are all kind of industrial, maybe a little bit kind of flat, angular, and, I don't know, not pimply. But he's also famous for these watches, which are his own design, and they also have these little kind of nodules and pustules. They're like little bulbous things. And I don't want to hear people being like, okay, well, every crown must look like a pimple, or every pusher on a chronograph must look like a pimple. No, they're like more bulbous than usual. I don't know. This sea urchin actually does have some nice aspects to it. The color is vibrant and the dial is actually beautiful. But whereas you could call some of his other designs, like definitely the pole router, but even, you know, the Engineer, somewhat tame and subdued, this Oursin Fire Opal is just the opposite of that. If I had to give it pros and cons, the pros would be that it's a definite conversation starter, it's definitely eye-catching, and it is a Gerald Genta design. But the cons are also somewhat similar. It's a conversation starter and an eye-catcher, and it may just gross people out. Listen, day to day, I tend to wear watches that aren't very eye-catching, and they're kind of subdued. I mean, I get it, like, Casios and G-Shocks in general aren't the smallest watch, but they're also not the most vibrant, like, eye-catching pieces. Even the more colorful G-Shocks, it's not like people are really going to want to talk to you about them necessarily. And they're definitely not going to gross most people out. Whereas this thing, I think it's like definitely a piece of art on your wrist, but furthermore, I think it's going to be somewhat strange to most people. Now, here's what I'll say. This watch is the perfect watch to bring up my overall belief in watch collecting. Regardless of what watch it is, or which watch you choose to wear, you should only buy it and wear it for yourself. Because some of you out there might be looking at this Oursin Fire Opal and think it's gorgeous, and you would love to wear this on your wrist. And to that, I would say, awesome, it's your wrist, not mine. I'm sure there are watches that I wear regularly on this channel that you guys think are ugly and you would never have in your watch box or on your wrist ever. And these differences in opinions make the watch world go round. So while I really don't like this watch, kind of makes me uncomfortable and kind of grossed out, I think there's nothing wrong with you if you do really enjoy this design, and I think you should kind of transpose this belief to your own watch collecting journey. You should only wear the watches that you you like, you should only buy the watches that you like, and you shouldn't worry about what other people think. So guys, this has been your daily dose of watch-induced nausea. I hope you survived our insane, in-depth look at the Gerald Genta Gentissima Oursin Fire Opal, aka the sea urchin. If you want some more weird watch content, and trust me, I've got a doozy coming up, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on my next episode, and leave me a comment. Let me know, is this watch hideous or is it secretly awesome? Now, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up an industrial-sized tub of Cetaphil. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.